Hi.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good, good. How you been feeling this week?
I've been feeling okay, a little guilty, but okay.
A little guilty.
A little guilty.
Okay. Were you able to identify where that feeling was coming from?
Yes, I was able to identify where it's coming from.
What? Explain.
My husband found a couple of pair of shoes that I've bought
Okay. Okay.
without him knowing.
Without him knowing.
Without him knowing.
Okay, so you've been kind of hiding or keeping secrets from him.
Yes.
Okay. And is that something that you feel like we need to put on the agenda for this week?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Will do. And I was looking at your forms that you filled out in the lobby, and I was actually impressed. Your anxiety levels are a little lower this week than they have been on the other weeks. The depression is still about the same. Have you noticed a difference in how you've been feeling, or?
I've been feeling a lot better this week than I have in a long time.
Okay, and what do you think is contributing to that?
Just had a good week. I mean, for the most part, we went on that date and had a good time.
Okay. And what problems would you like to discuss today?
I think the problem with the fight with my husband finding the shoes.
Okay. So we have that on the agenda already. Can you name another problem that you feel like you would like to discuss?
Just this past week we had a really bad storm and the lights went out and it made me frustrated with my husband because I didn't have a flashlight or candles or anything.
Okay. Got you. Well, I'll definitely put that on the agenda as well. And did anything else happen this week that you feel like is important for us to discuss? Any other issues we need to put on the agenda?
I don't think so. I think it's the main issue, and I have some credit cards that my husband doesn't know about.
And you say that hesitantly. Is that something that we need to?
Yeah, probably.
Need to add as well?
Probably.
Okay, all right. And I know you mentioned last week that you were starting CrossFit. I mean, is that still a positive activity for you?
It is. It's going good. It's going well.
Okay.
I'm getting stronger.
Stronger? Good. And just really briefly, how is that helping your depression, or is it helping your depression at all?
It's helping my depression. It's making me feel good about something.
Okay. And last week you had a couple of homework assignments?
Yes.
Can you review that for me?
One of my homework assignments was to have a better communication with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, we did work on that and, challenging the automatic thoughts that come into my mind by journaling.
Mm-hmm.
And, taking what you said, is it true? Is it not true? Is it somewhat true?
Mm-hmm.
Those thoughts that go on in my mind.
Good. So you've been using those skills in your journaling session?
Yes.
Great. And I know last week you talked specifically about wanting to talk to your husband without being so emotional.
Yes.
Instead of blowing up. Did you find success in that? Or?
I did find success in that. I feel like, I calm down. When I start to feel angry, I try to calm down and try that has a better open communication with each other.
Good. Great. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I would love to kind of prioritize our agenda because we may not be able to talk about everything in this session, but I do want to talk about what's most important to you.
Yes.
And what would that be?
Probably the fight about the shoes.
The shoes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's definitely start there. Can you give me a little summary about what was so important about the shoes and how did we even get to the shoe topic?
Yeah, so we went on the date, everything went fine. We came home and he came across 2 pairs of shoes in the closet that I
Okay.
had gotten. He had put us on a budget and told me not to spend money so we could kind of work on that. And so, but I went and bought some shoes anyways.
And so, what prevented you from actually sharing that with him? I mean, why did you keep it a secret?
Because I didn't want him to judge me. I didn't want him to feel that I wasn't taking what he said seriously, and I just did it anyways.
When you say you didn't want him to judge you, what kind of experience or what kind of evidence did you have that he was gonna actually judge you versus anything else?
I just felt that he was gonna judge me because it was a serious conversation that we had. And he told me, I really don't want to spending any extra money, but I went and did it anyways, but I don't want him to get mad at me for doing it.
So when he found the shoes, what was his response?
He was angry.
He was angry.
He was angry.
Did you guys talk about it?
We fought about it.
So when he found the shoes, he got angry, and you guys, instead of continuing that positive communication that you had during date night, it turned back into fighting with one another. Is that correct? And looking back at the situation now, what would you have done differently to avoid that fight?
Hide them better. No, I don't know. I don't know. I guess
That's an easy way out, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But what could you have done better?
Not lied to him about it. Told him about it. Because then I would have to open up that I had 6 other credit cards that he doesn't know about.
Okay. And so now that was the other topic we had on our agenda to discuss. Okay. So we kind of moved from the shoes to now the real issue is
I have credit cards that he doesn't know about. So I spend money on stuff.
Okay. All right. And help me better understand why you feel like you can't trust your husband enough to tell him about your spending. You keep saying he was going to judge you, but explain that to me.
I just feel that, if I don't say anything, it'll keep us from fighting. And, he was already mad that I bought the shoes. And then, I just feel that he's just not going to be okay with it.
Looking back in hindsight, is your husband upset that you bought the shoes? Or what exactly do you think he's upset about?
I think he's upset with me lying to him about buying the shoes. And then buying the shoes and not telling him, not telling him like, hey, I'm going to go buy something. And just doing it and hiding it from him.
Mm-hmm. So how did your conversation go with talking to him? Using the homework that you had to make date night successful.
I just feel like, we had that, and then it all went out the door. He got angry, and then it made me angry, and then we just started fighting, and I regret not using what we had talked about, using my homework in the fight.
I would love to take a moment and identify those automatic thoughts so we can kind of see how it escalated and where you went off your path of doing so well with communicating. So you said earlier that you hid the shoes because you didn't want him to find them because you didn't want him to judge you.
Mm-hmm.
So that automatic thought led to you secretly going out and buying the shoes and then bringing them home and hiding them, I assume. Okay, and then at that point, your behavior is what caused an emotional outburst on your husband's part. Okay, and his response actually led you into having an emotional outburst as well.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. So when we look back in retrospect, the automatic thought that he was going to judge you for spending, is it evident or is it clear that changing that thought, how could that have affected the whole outcome of everything?
I feel like changing the thought and being open with him would have made it not so bad because he wouldn't have gotten so angry with me and then it made me angry and then it just was an ongoing circle.
Because what was the evidence that he was going to judge you? Was there any evidence?
I don't think there was evidence. I thought that's just, I felt guilty for doing it, and that made me think that he would get angry with me and judge me for it.
And how did you resolve the whole shoe incident? How did you make it?
It's kind of still there. It hasn't really resolved yet.
Okay. So let's talk about that. I mean, we've identified and challenged the behavior that caused you to go out and buy and hide your products, but how can we resolve this with your husband? What are some ways that we can actually deal with this in a more positive manner?
I think being honest with him about buying the shoes and being honest about having more credit cards that he doesn't know about.
Yes, I want to get to the credit cards in a second because that's our agenda too. But I want to deal with the agenda one first because in your therapy notes, I want you to write down that a lot of times our anxiety can actually cause us to be impulsive. And so I want you to see how that applies to your behavior. I know a couple weeks ago you looked at the pamphlet for anxiety, depression, and you said that a lot of those symptoms were relatable. But I want to ask you how can you see that the anxiety may have played a role in?
I feel like it played a role in how I'm feeling because I feel guilty for doing it and that gives me anxiety. And then when I go to the store and I buy these things and I feel I have anxiety that people are judging me, I feel that they know that I'm doing wrong, even though.
But you're talking about the people in the store. Let's focus on your husband finding the shoes though, because you said that you feel like he is judging you, but there was no evidence when we looked at that. So could it be more of your anxiety telling you that your husband is going to judge you for your purchases?
It could be.
That's what I want. I want to pose that question to you as a possibility.
I feel like that could be it.
So this week, as we look at homework for this agenda one, let's kind of talk about what are some things that you can do to identify when it's your anxiety causing you to lead to conclusions.
Yeah, I feel like I need to go back to is it real? Is it not real? Is it true? Is it not true? Is it somewhat true? I think that's something else I need to go back and look into and start journaling more, trying to figure out if, that's what's going on. Go back to reading the pamphlets about anxiety and see, try to make it better.
And one thing I would like to post, and I think that's a great homework assignment and goal to have is maybe even sitting down and talking to your husband about a budget.
Yeah.
Sometimes just reviewing old conversations,
We'll help out.
will help, relieve a little tension and just see what he says. Does that sound like a suggestion that would be helpful for you?
I think it'd be helpful. Sit down and let him know that I'm actually trying to get it.
Right. And as we run out of time, I would like to put the credit card issue on our agenda for next time as well, because I think that ties in well with the issue of hiding the shoes, like you said, when you're in the store and you're feeling like people are judging you because you're there. They don't know you're not supposed to be there, but it's like in your mind, you're not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So, well, great. Well, overall, it sounds like you had a pretty pleasant week, except for this one issue of your husband finding out about your secret spending.
Yes.
And you going against what you guys agreed. And so that kind of left you feeling a little guilty.
It did. And, I think we need to work on, the open communication more than just, I feel like maybe that'll help with my anxiety some. Hopefully.
Right. And just, the therapy notes for this week, just realizing how the anxiety can actually cause us to make impulsive reactions or impulsive behaviors.
Yeah.
So, in having 6 credit cards and, having shoes that you have to hide from your husband, sounds like it may be a little bit of impulse spending that we need to discuss in future sessions. Anything else that you feel like we need to talk about before we leave, or any questions?
I guess my question is, in journaling, is there any way, when I look back on my journaling and I see what I'm doing wrong, is there any way you suggest that I try to remember that when I start going through the week, going through the next day, and I just fall back into the same ways?
One thing to always remember is that as you're learning how to challenge your thoughts and you're learning how to look for evidence, it's just like learning how to ride a bike or anything else. It's a skill that requires practice and repetition. So it's going to take some time, and it's just a good practice every day. When you feel those emotions, you're feeling guilty, you're feeling ashamed, or even when you're feeling happy, always identify, what am I thinking? Because remember, our thoughts affect our emotions, and our emotions, really affect our behavior. So, and then as you get into the hang of it, you'll start remembering to look for the evidence and what you're actually thinking versus what is the reality.
Yeah.
And before we close today, I really wanted to encourage you to look at how your spending may actually be affecting your marriage as well.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that might be one of our issues.
Okay. And see how your husband feels about that. See if you can have a healthy conversation, remembering your therapy notes, and see if you can make some progress in that area.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
That sounds good.
Great. Well, I thank you so much, and I hope that you have a productive week.
Thank you.
Thanks.